She's known for her iconic Big Brother lines like floaters, grab a life vest, and nobody comes between me and my man. She's a BB winner. She's competed 3 times, and she fell into a volcano on this season's premiere. We caught up with Rachel Reilly for her takes on Big Brother 28. Take a look. Joining me now is Big Brother legend, none other than Miss Rachel Reilly. Rachel, it's so good to speak to you again, friend. How are things?
Yes. Oh, things are so amazing. I am so excited to chat with you again. It's been a crazy summer. I was thrown into a volcano by a velociraptor.
I know.
Unfairly, I might add.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually where I want to start. So obviously we saw you last season on Big Brother competing and left in a very sad way, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we saw you reemerge in the premiere episode of this season, which I think was shocking for a lot of people. And so I think we all know at this point, but I do just want to get clarity from you. This was a skit, right? And also, how do you feel about coming back in this way?
This was a skit. I felt like it was really fun. I have to be honest. It was one of the most fun things I've done on Big Brother. We do a lot of crazy skits and competitions in the show. But for this one in particular, I had to actually do like a rehearsal, and I don't want to say stunt training, but it was basically stunt training.
Yeah.
I had to fall into that foam pit like maybe 10 times. So it's one of those foam pits that you remember when you were younger and you went to the gymnastics studio or like a gym and they have a giant foam pit that the kids all love to jump in. It's one of those. So I did fall. We were trying to do the math, and I think I fell maybe like 30 feet before the foam pit was there. And that could be an exaggeration. But it was pretty far, and I had to fall backwards. So it was very fun for me. The foam, it was just like jumping in like you're a kid, you know, you get to like kind of relive your childhood.
Yeah, I love that. And hey, here's the thing. It's your story to tell. So if 30 feet's what we're going with, that's what we're going with. Can you speak to the pressure a little bit of being a former Big Brother player or former reality contestant, as we're seeing this season, coming into the house with mostly newbies? Because you've had that experience not once, but twice now.
Yeah, I would say Dee, Devins, and Angela are already coming in with the understanding that they will be a target. I mean, look, they're not really a target this season, so good for them. But I think you, as a new player, you see these veterans and you probably want to target them. But as a veteran coming in to a season with all new players, you assume automatically that they're going to band together and try to get you out, which we did see. And the icons are smart to have targeted who they've targeted so far this season, because I think Rome and Jason probably were the most the loudest about trying to get the icons on the block. But I think they could have also used that to their advantage. So we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Right now, they're in a great spot, and I don't think anyone has eyes on them. They've been able to take the target off themselves. I think as far as the icons, I'm really rooting for Devins. He looks like he's having a great time in there. He's having so much fun. He's playing this perfect Big Brother role where he's won a competition, he's been in power, but he's also able to talk to everyone on their level. None of the new players really find him that threatening, even though he has been in power. And he's almost like he's giving them advice. He's that fun dad character that they are wanting to come talk to. I also obviously love Dee. I'm a huge fan of hers from Survivor and The Challenge. So it's really fun to see her playing. And of course, we all love Angela, right? So it's fun to see her playing again. That egg costume for Angela was kind of perfect.
Yeah.
But the icons are having a great time. And I think that they've done a really good job at taking the target off of themselves. And they've done a really good job of banding together, which also is something that you never know what's going to happen when you go in there with new players. On Big Brother 13, we all wanted to work together. And then Danielle Donato wanted to pull away from us. And because of that, our veteran alliance was kind of split in half. So you don't know what's going to happen or how the game is going to go, and it might unfold in the next few weeks. They might turn on each other, but right now I think I think we see Dee and Devins, especially in a really solid conversations, keeping each other in the loop. I doubt that they're going to pull from each other. I think they're going to work together to the end.
Yeah, I really have loved seeing them play on this season, and I think they're in a very interesting position where like it's like that you're like waiting for the water to boil, you know? I'm like something crazy is
Yes.
going to happen soon, but it hasn't happened yet, and I'm okay with that so far. Um,
Yeah.
but speaking of maybe a more questionable player, someone that's really, I've really been seeing a lot about online this week has been Drew. And it's interesting because I caught on, I would say maybe week 2, halfway through week 3, I was like, he's kind of playing both sides of the house. And at first it seemed like he was doing so seamlessly, but now I think it's kind of catching up to him, especially with the icons. And so I'm curious, you know, as a BB expert yourself, what do you think he could do to save himself this week? And also what should his game plan be moving forward?
You know, that's an interesting question because Drew is one of my favorite players this season. I fell in love with him the minute I walked into the house, and I had this like really quick conversation with him. We were talking about his love for Big Brother and his experience with the show. You know, his mom learned how to speak English from watching Big Brother. So I just really loved that. And I love that he was able to sit down with me for the little amount of time that I had in there. And he really wanted to get to know me and talk to me about what I would find interesting and what he would find interesting. So we really had a great conversation. Um, I am rooting for Drew.
Yeah.
So this might come off a little biased, but I think he's actually not in a bad spot. Um, because he does have the heat on him, right? So that's always a scary spot to be in. I wish he would have won the veto this week. Oh, spoiler alert.
It's okay.
Sorry. So I think Drew has the heat on him this week, but I feel like is going to come out on top. And now he's also going to have a little bit of sympathy because he's the target. I think the people are going to start being more sympathetic toward him. And we're already seeing the icons wanting to keep him this week. We're already seeing them having discussions about if Drew stays, how do we want to work with him? Do we trust him? And the new players, the other side of the house, already love Drew. So he doesn't really have to do a lot of work with them. They already want to work with him. And they need to work with him because they've lost some great players on that side of the house. So I think Drew could be in a really good spot. And I don't think that he is going to go home this week. I mean, I'm really crossing fingers because I like him. But as far as like this past HOH, when he told the audience on Sunday, you know, I don't need to win the HOH and I'm in a good spot. Plus, I'm already in the middle. I don't want to have to pick a side. I don't think that was smart for him because, you know, it's already, we're going into, you know, over a month of Big Brother. So at this point in the game, you really need to start kind of playing on what side you're going to be playing with. And you need to kind of have a team that you're working with. Now, I do think Drew is gravitating obviously toward Melody. And I think that we love that cute little flirtmance they have going on. I love it. And I think as long as he can work really well with Melody, Mallory, obviously, unfortunately, one of them, Melody, Lyric, or Drew will go home this week, right?
Yeah.
But there is a chance that it doesn't really fracture their alliance too much because if they were to win, they just need power. And like if Drew's to win, he could always put up, you know, people from that Red Corner alliance and then take someone out. And I think it's just one of those things. They just need power. And I think the whole game will change.
Yeah. You've talked a lot about the different sides of the house. And I think it's been a really interesting thing to see this season because to me, it's interesting how we have a very clear middle, but then we've been voting unanimously all season, which is, I think, a little frustrating personally as a viewer because I'm like, let's spice it up. Let's have our own opinions. I want you to speak to that a little bit. The current split of the house, maybe which side do you favor and thoughts on the, continuous unanimous voting?
I hate unanimous voting as a viewer and also as a player. It's so frustrating because you work so hard as a player during the week to get people to vote the way you want and to kind of go with what you're thinking. Even when they're not working with you, you still have to kind of, part of playing Big Brother is convincing people on how to vote, right? Which direction they're going to vote. So I don't feel like we've really seen that. And I don't know why they're voting unanimously because I think every vote we've seen basically a unanimous vote, right?
Hmm.
And it's not in their favor, which is what's really confusing to me because keeping Jason in the game, if the one side of the house would have all came together, I think they had enough votes to keep him in the game. Same thing with Rome, right? Like they all needed to vote together to keep Rome in the game. And I think because they're not really working together, they haven't really come to this like, mentality where we need to work against this. They don't know about the tool shed, but they know that there is these three icons who are very obviously getting their way every single week. So it's like, if you see that going on one week, sure. But like, why has this happened for 3 weeks in a row? I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of hope maybe we see a shift in the next eviction episode, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, a new kind of twist of sorts they implemented this season is the BB time capsule. And so far, it's been the icons that have all gone in. And for viewers at home, this is the players go in, they're voted in by America, and they either win a power or a punishment. Who would you like to see win a power or punishment next? Because it would have to be a newbie the next round.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I hope it's Drew. I think that with Drew winning a power, and I really hope he wins Coin of Destiny, because that is such a powerful power. Like it's such a great power for their side. They really need everything they can have right now. If it's not Drew, then I'm hoping it would be maybe like a Melody, because she's also very outspoken. Mallory would probably be a great one to win as well. She's very outspoken on taking the newbies further in this game. So I think otherwise, we're just going to see this steamroll continue to happen. So just as a viewer, I'm hoping that we get a few weeks where the newbies kind of can take control of things. There's a little bit of a power shift. That doesn't mean I don't want to see the icons in the end, because I absolutely do. But of course, as a viewer, we want to see a little bit of the power structure change.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it would be nice to see, just for TV's sake alone, just something change.
Exactly.
I think that would be really
cool. Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of the time capsule, really quick, one more thing about that. Something that's been a little controversial this week is that Dee won the power, which was essentially the chance to bribe someone with $5,000 to do something that she wants in the game. And I feel like there's been a lot of online chatter on the fact that maybe $5,000 is not a high enough bribe in a game where we're competing for $750 altogether. So how do you feel about that? Because that is kind of an interesting take from the fans.
I think that's an interesting take. And also, I believe that the controversy was also around the fact that she can use it until the end of the game, which I actually love. I think that as a player and as a viewer, it is going to make for a more interesting bribe. So even as a viewer, like just the thought of someone being able to bribe someone for a jury vote or for the chance to stay in the game final four, right? Like, how is she going to use that? And if I were her, I wouldn't use it until the end, because I feel like there's really no reason for her to, waste it right now unless she's really in danger. But I would think nobody is going to do anything for $5,000 if they want to get rid of Dee. However, if it comes down to a jury vote and someone might not vote for her, or maybe they just aren't going to care, then that $5,000 bribe really could sway the jury in her, direction. And she can use it to have someone, she can use it for a vote. She could use it for like asking someone to help her. So there's a lot of different ways it could go. I kind of love it. And I do think 5,000 in Big Brother is enough, because this is the thing. We're in that house, right? The concept of money starts to kind of become one of those things where you're like, okay, I know there's this prize at the end, but you have to make it to the end. And along the way, if you can win or, earn 5,000, 10,000, whatever, take the prize, take the money. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If it doesn't jeopardize your in particular game, like, why wouldn't you keep that? I think Dee could use this in so many interesting ways. And because she's an experienced Survivor player, I know that she will. Like, I'm really waiting to see how she uses it. And I think she will use it in an interesting way.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that opinion on it as someone who's played the game multiple times, because I think it has been something that's really been rumbling through kind of the BB fandom this week. Something that, you know, we're a few weeks past now at this point, but I feel like there's a few that could be rumbling in the mix to come is obviously kind of the infamous BB Showmance, right? We saw this play out with Rome and Lyric in the first few weeks, and Rome obviously went home. And you know, Melody and Drew kind of seem like something's brewing. There's a few other people in the house that I'm like, maybe something can happen. I don't know. Obviously, you have one of the most like popular, famous showmances to come out of this show. And so I'm curious if you could just briefly kind of talk to me about, you know, kind of the pros and cons of having a showmance in this game, and you know, working it to your benefit versus kind of also knowing that it's an uphill battle. Because for you, both times it did kind of help you along the way. But, you know, in the last few seasons, I feel like we've seen one or both of the showmans go out really early.
Yeah, I would say it's a toss up each season, depending on who you're playing with. But look, at the end of the day, you know, you're kind of bored in that house. So having a showmance is probably a bonus. It's fun to flirt. We're, you know, we are young, or they're young, and they're like in there living their best life. I think it's fun for them to flirt. I think it's fun to have someone that you can kind of like bounce ideas off of. And in a showmance, you feel automatically like you have that extra person you can trust and that will have your best interest, which is really hard in a game like Big Brother, because even though you have friends, you have your allies, you have, you know, even a big alliance, you never really fully think that you can trust someone in that house because you don't know what their intentions are. And at least with a showmance partner, you feel a little more like you can trust them, even just a little bit more, which is a huge advantage in the game.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes it's nice to just have someone to talk to get your mind off of the game. You know, they're in there for almost 100 days. They're in there until October this season. So like just having someone in there to talk to that, you know, you can talk about real life stuff. You can talk about your dog at home, and you don't have to just always talk about game. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we all need that safe person, that safe space,
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense, especially in a very trapped game like this. Finally here, you know, like, where do you hope this season goes? I know you're very pro Drew. You mentioned that you're really liking to see Devins on this season as well, but where do we hope it goes? A few people have gone home. There's obviously, you know, still almost 2.5, whatever months left of the show. So what do you hope happens next?
I hope that there's a world where we see, you know, Melody, Mallory, making it through these next few weeks unscathed. They're still in the game. And then we also still have our icons in the game. Drew is still in the game. I would love to see, you know, a final 5 of our icons plus maybe like a Drew and a Melody, because I think they're just playing the game. I would love to see Mallory in there too. So if we lose an icon, that, you know, obviously I am rooting for the icons, but at the end of the day, I'm also rooting for Big Brother. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And I want to see the power shift. So I would love final 6. We have Melody, Mallory, Drew, the 3 icons. That would be really fun. It's just going to be a mix of how we get them there. Because at this point, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, Haley and Camu and Chuck, they just have such a strong alliance, that red corner. And I don't see the 3 of them turning on each other. And then we have the tool shed, which is already starting to crumble. But if Drew and Melody both make it through this week, I think that they need to win power, but I think they could have an opportunity to take out someone on that side. And I think that they'll probably target Haley, Camu. They might target Chuck. They might target maybe Angela or Dee. I'm not sure who of the icons will be targeted first. But I think having, you know, keeping the players that have been already big players this season so far, keeping them till the end will be a lot of fun for all the viewers and for myself.
Yeah, I love that final 6/final 5. I think that would be a really exciting end to the game. Rachel, we always appreciate your takes and opinions. Thanks for taking the time to do with this. So fun to see you again.
Thank you so much. It's so fun to be here.
You can tune into brand new episodes of Big Brother every Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and of course, keep up with the live feeds all summer long.